Hey, it's me, Raika. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Lightbearer hero, Adrian Elyse. Now, this hero wears leather-based gear, is part of the warrior class, and his primary role of this combo is to provide a significant amount of control, distraction, and increased damage for your allies. So let's have a look at their skills. The ultimate ability, Eternal Waltz. It has a passive and a active component. During battle, Adrian and Elise dance continuously across the battlefield. So this is the invade-like portion, moving towards the enemy nearest to the edge of the allied battlefield and prioritizing targeting enemy heroes. Upon moving close to a target, Adrian twirls Elise to attack, dealing damage and knocking the target back to the edge of the battlefield. So this is the control-like effect. So this will disperse the enemy back into their enemy half. If the target is knocked back successfully, they'll also be stunned for 3 seconds. So this is additional control while Adrian and Elise are moving. They will use a normal attack every 5 seconds, dealing damage to nearby enemy targets. The active component. When they gain 1000 energy points and they use this ultimate ability. Facing the enemy battlefield, Adrian lifts Elise up to attack in an elegant arc, dealing damage equal to all enemies and knocking them back to the edge of the battlefield. If a target is knocked back successfully, they will also be stunned for 3 seconds. So if the enemy team is grouped up closely together, this will be able to knock back multiple targets at the same time with a single use of this skill. Level 2. Upon moving close to a target, Adrian twirls Elise to attack, dealing increased damage. So this increases the amount of damage from 200 to 300%. And level 3, when a target is knocked back successfully, the duration of the stun increases based on the distance the target has moved or being knocked back, up to a max of 3 seconds. So let's have a look at the next ability, Graceful Shield. When Adrian twirls Elise to attack, the nearest allied hero gains a shield worth 200% of Adrian and Elise's attack rating for 4 seconds. The level 2, when the shield expires, 150% of the remaining value is converting to health for the owner. So this is both Adrian and Elise and the allied hero. The level 3, the value of the shield is increased to 350% from 200%. And the level 4, upon performing a twirl, Adrian and Elise also gain a shield. So this is an extra utility effect. And next ability, Quivering Blade. For enemies that are immune to control effects or cannot be knocked back, twirling attacks and lift attacks will wound them instead, causing the enemy to lose health equal to 150% of Adrian and Elise's attack rating every second for 5 seconds. So this is a bleed-like effect. Wounded enemies, the level 2 upgrade, suffer increased health loss per second equal to 260, up from 150%. The level 3, the enemy is wounded whether they are knocked back or not. The level 4, upon successfully knocking an enemy back to the edge of the battlefield, Adrian and Elise's haste is increased by 15% and their movement speed is increased by 15% for 6 seconds. This effect can be stacked 3 times. So 15% is an additional multiplier that they will get on whatever current haste they may have on their stat sheet. So the next ability, Spirit Healing. Upon taking fatal damage, both Adrian and Elyse avoid death for that time, and the spirit contained in Elise's dancing marionetta will heal Adrian and Elyse for 5 seconds. During this time, the spirit's remaining drive will be converted into health, up to 90% of their health. After the duration, they continue battling. Every time Adrian and Elyse suffer 2% of damage or health loss while being healed, the healing duration will be reduced by 0.1 seconds. This effect can be used up to 2 times per battle. So this is an additional cheat death abilities that this hero can use and survive for a longer duration in the fight. The level 2, every time Adrian and Elyse suffer damage or health loss of 4% of their max health while being healed, the healing duration will be reduced by 0.1 second. Level 3, during healing, enemies in the backline of the enemy battlefield will be unable to inflict damage or health loss on Adrian or Elyse. So this is an extra utility buff that they can provide, and the 60 engravings. This effect can be used up to 3 times per battle. So this is 3 cheat deaths that this hero can use. So let's have a look at the signature item, Upstage Offense. Now when you unlock this, Adrian and Elyse deal 20% more damage to enemies in the back line of the enemy battlefield. So they have to be physically present within the enemy lines in order for this effect to take place. So as we can see over here, the level 10, after dealing damage to enemies in the back line of the enemy battlefield, Adrian and Elyse's erosion is increased by 40 points for 3 seconds. The level 20, the damage they deal is increased by 60% more damage to enemies in their back line of the enemy battlefield. And the 30 signature item, the important one, the effects that they gain over here also applies to allied heroes in the backline of the enemy battlefield. So this is similar to Scrag, where the effects are only present if your allies are present in the enemy half. And the 40 signature item unlock. This effect applies to all allied heroes. Alright, so let's have a look at his furniture. Now when you unlock his Spirited Steps 3 out of 3, during battle, Adrian and Elyse gain 50 points of energy every 1 second. The 9 out of 9, during battle, Adrian and Elyse gain 50 points of tenacity as well during battle. So let's have a look at how they do in battle. Alright, so we're going to start off with the training dummy right over here. So immediately as they start into battle, they will be kicking enemies to the enemy line. Now we can see the little debuff icon on the enemy heroes. As we can see, this is the bleed-like effect and the stun effect as well. And they will be continually taking damage from this wound effect that Adrian and Elyse will be applying to the enemy. So as we can see, Adrian and Elyse are constantly providing shields for themselves and the ally, and any additional or excess shield that remains after the duration will be converted into health for both allied heroes. So for Adrian and your nearest allied hero. So as we can see, this is the twirl-like effect where they will either be doing the elegant arc, where it will be knocking the enemies back to their enemy half, or they will be knocking enemies up into the air. So let's have a look at the ultimate ability. So there's the elegant arc that slashes multiple targets at the same time. So let's have a look at how this hero does at a much higher level deficit. So we're going to have a look at this particular battle over here. Now from here we can see that this hero pairs extremely well with any invade-based heroes. So as we can see over here, we have Tamaris and Mulan. Both of these heroes will immediately at the start of battle invade the enemy lines and start controlling them. This will give your allies that additional 60% increased damage. So as we can see, my allies are already in the enemy half and they're already being grouped by my allied heroes. This will buff my allies' damage tremendously, as we can see over here. So this hero over here will primarily be used for his utility-based effects. However, he will need a team that can synergize extremely well with these 60% more damage that Adrian can provide for his allies. Now, what is the minimum investment that I would recommend into this allied hero? Now, I would highly recommend getting his 30 signature item, as this provides a tremendous amount of buffs in terms of damage, especially for any allies that are invade heavy based. So if you have any allies such as Scrag, Mulan, or Awakened Athalia, regular Athalia, this will be a massive buff for your allies. Now I would also recommend getting 9 out of 9 furniture, as this provides 2 additional utility based buffs, such as the 50 points of tenacity. This makes it so that Adrian and Elyse can inflict their control effects more reliably, especially at higher level deficits or different levels of investment. In addition, the 50 points of energy allows Adrian and Elyse to use their control effects more reliably, such as their knockback and stun effects on the enemy heroes as well. Now, I do not recommend getting the 30 or the 60 engravings. The reason for this, most of the kit is built into their skills, such as 2 cheat deaths. The 60 engravings only provides 3. So this is a marginal increase in terms of the amount of damage or survivability that this hero will gain. Now the 30 engravings is not that powerful, as this provides a minor buff to Adrian and Elyse's haste and movement speed.